Okay, good. It works. We did it.
Yay, us. We're trying to deal with the wind here, clearly, as you can see. Oh, hi. So forgive us if some of this gets kind of washed out, but we wanted to sit outside because COVID and also because it is absolutely spectacular out today. We're very safe distance apart right now, and just hard to believe that the month is gone. April is gone.
I know. It's awesome. I mean, we're a few days in, but that's okay because you had some time to really reflect and think back on the last 30 days and what transpired and all that kind of stuff. So might as well just get right into it. So overall, how did your 30 days of dry April go?
It went good. Definitely found that the biggest contributing factor for me with any kind of consumption is out of sight, out of mind. Not in the house, didn't even think about it. I still, it's only the 2nd or 3rd of May now, but I find without it being there, like I'm not going to go out of my way to go get a bottle of wine or go get some beer. It's like if it was in the house, I might be sitting and be like, oh, I can have a glass of wine. It's like junk food. I learned liquor. If it's not around, I'm like, And that, and I will say the biggest thing that I have noticed and loved, cha-ching, the wallet. Barely moved. I can't get over the amount of money I spent on social drinking.
Yeah.
Like insane the amount of money. And it doesn't seem like a lot when it's, one here and one there, just little moments. But I have really enjoyed that extra income.
That's so awesome. And that's what a lot of people say, too. That's one of the first things you'll notice, really. Because, all the other effects of, having hangover-free Sundays or more energy, all that kind of stuff, you might notice that a little later. But it's the bank account where people notice it first, especially in Halifax, where things are so alcohol is so expensive. I find we notice it a lot more here if we choose not to drink for a little while. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited about that. And I think that, do I think that I'll stop drinking altogether? No, that wasn't really the point of it for me. But do I have any interest right now in grabbing a drink? Not even a little bit. It's kind of an odd feeling. I just feel good. I'm enjoying the energy. I've been getting out and being more active. And like everybody, I have my really crappy days with COVID, and I don't think liquor would help. I think it would do the opposite. The times that I felt down, I don't think a downer is going to make me feel more up.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people you don't really think that way. Most people wouldn't, because you just do what you've been doing most of your life. Adult life is just drinking when you feel a certain way, or drink good or bad. So I think things like this, it's a good idea because it gets you into a different way of thinking that otherwise you wouldn't have thought before. So that's awesome to hear you say that.
Thanks. No, it's been really fun. And like I said, to anybody who's ever been interested in doing something like this, it's great to connect. And just like with Sober City, there's so many resources out there and friends you can talk to. And we all have friends who are living the sober life and are, wanting to support other people. And I think that that's been the biggest thing I've learned is if I was just deciding, okay, I'm Allie, I'm just going to stop drinking for a month, I wouldn't have kept up to that if I didn't have somebody keeping me accountable.
Yep, that's huge too. Yeah, exactly. And even for the people who decide to quit drinking for a long time or forever, Sober City is there, and just like all the other groups, I guess, but Sober City is more of this. I do it more in a social way. That's to make new friends who are think the same way as you. Since I'm not a counselor or a therapist or anything, I can't really do the therapeutic way. I do it the social way, and I've found from people who meet friends within Sober City, I've introduced friends to friends that they might be friends forever now because of that, which is freaking awesome. And it's funny because I've seen in some of the comments and some things that you posted around taking this month off where people are cheering you on. And I have a feeling, I was like, do you even know those people? There's a good chance you probably don't, because as soon as we hear that someone quit or they're cutting back or they're doing something around that, we all feel like we know you and we cheer you on, like no matter who you are. That's the funny thing about the sober community.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense though. You know, everybody's so clear-headed, and I think I feel so good, so I want other people to feel good, and you feel good, so you want me to feel good. It's like this whole like feel good thing, you know, which is so great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do really like that it was still felt very social. You know, like it's like I said, it's a weird time because COVID has taken away so much of what we normally, you know, come to expect, especially from this time of year. But I really enjoyed that I never felt like, oh, you know, like womp womp, all on my own, trying to do this and just trying to like white knuckle it through the month. It was just like, there's just because you're sober doesn't mean you have to be solo. You know,
Yeah.
there's lots of sober people out there having such a great time, having just as much fun. A lot of people would argue more fun than people that are consuming. And whether you're consuming or not, there are people who want to go out and just socialize, and that it doesn't have to be a social lubricant, you know?
Yep, exactly. It takes some time getting used to being around other people sober when you're not used to it. But it's just like with anything, it takes practice. And the more you go out and be social, the easier it gets. I used to be awkward as hell when I went out with friends for the first like couple months of quitting drinking. I was like, I don't know, where do I put my eyes or my hands? I don't know how to be or how to talk like without booze, but I figured it out and now it's totally fine. Sure, I still get a little social anxiety, but like, don't we all? It's totally fine. So I guess compared to your baseline, when we first started, I was asking how your energy levels were and appetite and sleep and stress and all that kind of stuff, because we all know that alcohol can negatively impact those things. So have you found any changes in those with you?
I do find that I've really enjoyed not having the blues, because I'm one of those people that loves to, like, I love to go out and socialize, and I do enjoy drinking and partying and stuff, but I always get like a guilt hangover. Always. And so that is such a kind of crap feeling. And as I've gotten older, I'm 35 now, it takes some of the fun out of it, you know? And you're just like, oh man, I know I'm not only going to feel like crap later, but I'm going to feel crappy about how crap I feel, if that makes sense. So I really enjoyed not having that, like, little bit of guilt, which is my own personal thing. It's nothing like, that's not anybody else's ism, that's just mine. But I really enjoyed not having that down on top of the up and down that is going on in the entire world right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's been something that I've found really grounding, that I just don't feel that like ugh, on top of everything else that's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the guilt that can come from simply just having like a to-do list over the weekend that you couldn't get to through the week because you're working, and then Sunday comes along, and then, or well, really Saturday, say you go out with friends and you socialize and you go out Saturday night and get drunk, and then Sunday you feel like crap, and then nothing gets done on your to-do list. That's a pretty common thing. So there comes some guilt. Or say you didn't want to get that drunk on Saturday night, but you did it anyway. So there's a little broken promise to yourself. And if you keep collecting broken promises to yourself for a long period of time, that can cause a lot of issues with, just low self-worth. It can come from that. Yeah, just breaking promises to yourself. It's not a good thing. So a reset like this can get you back into loving yourself in a way again, really.
Absolutely. I feel like if you can't trust yourself, that's like the number one thing, and most of us struggle with that. You know, we say mean things inside our own mind, which I'm so guilty of, you know, compared to things you would ever say to somebody else. And in those kind of moments, if you say to yourself, like, I'm going to do this, and then you don't, I think it chips away at your self-worth a little.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it definitely does. And for people who have like more of an issue around drinking, that could be magnified like so much, and the shame that comes along with it. And that's a big reason why a lot of people don't get help, because they feel they're so buried in guilt and shame. That's how I was. I was like, how am I going to do this? I'm not even worth saving. A lot of people feel that way. But I don't know if anyone out there is watching, you are, and it's very common for people to end up feeling that way after a long time of having an alcohol issue. But for the majority of people, they don't have those things, but it can still chip away at you little by little. So doing a reset is fantastic.
It's
so
really beautifully put. This woman, she's pretty wise. Look at
Yay!
Oh my god, my phone almost fell down the window.
Oh my god.
Get it away.
It's so windy. Oh my god.
I don't even know how much of this is actually. I hope everybody can hear this. Okay.
I can hear you fine. So,
It's because I've got a loud ass voice.
and no one said anything in the chat, so I think everyone can hear us fine. So,
Oh, Thompson says hi, Allie Cat. Hi. Lots of waves. Thank you so much, everybody, seriously, for the support. This has been an absolute blast. It was really cool to try something like this. Really cool to connect with Sober City. And, you know, we'll have all the resources and stuff on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram so people can connect and keep doing this. And, like, you know, Sober Summer 2021 is happening.
for real. I'm going to be doing it. So, it's not that bad, you guys. It's totally fine. You can do it. Yeah, if anyone has any questions as we go along, just note them in the chat because I'm reading them. Would you have any tips for anyone who wants to take a month off coming up soon, who is like a casual drinker like you, who just does it socially for the most part? Any tips?
Number one, do it with a buddy. Way more fun with a buddy. It's like workouts, eating clean, deciding you're not going to drink, do it with a friend. Because it's great to, now I'm that kind of person. I don't like doing things alone. I'm a social person. I love having somebody to cheer me on and somebody in your weak moments to be like, oh, I just want a beer. You know, you want to have somebody who's like, you can do it. You know, we're all spending so much time alone. Don't do this alone. You know, you've got somebody in your life who'd been curious about it too, just for fun. Just lean on them. If you've got a partner or a friend or a family member, just team up. And like, so much easier to do things in a team than it is to try to do it alone. In my opinion, I think that's the biggest tip I can give.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And that's one of the main things I tell people when they think about quitting drinking. I said support. Number one, you need to get your support in order. Make sure you have a support system, even if it's just one person to start. It's support. You need that to start. For like maybe other practical tips, I would suggest to plan ahead. What are you going to do at the end of a long day when you just get home and you normally would have a glass of wine or a beer to settle in for the night? Since you're not going to be doing that anymore, what could you do instead? So I find it's much better if you pre-plan. Or, of course, we can't plan for bad things that happen. But I don't know, plan if you have like a really sad moment or a sad day or a sad weekend, whatever happens, plan for what you're going to do to make yourself feel better. And support. That's where your support system can come in.
Yeah, if you've got like that as your one relaxation thing, you know, like a lot of us do the stereotype of like the book and the bubble bath and the wine. Just do the book and the bubble bath and some sparkling water or something like that. You know, like the rest doesn't just go away. Your friends aren't going to go away. Summer's not going away. Fun's not going away just because the liquor's going away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of people don't really believe that because they're like, well, no, this is the one thing that gives me euphoria and the one thing that I look forward to, all that kind of stuff. And I get it, but it doesn't have to be that way. Lots of people, myself included, figured out a different way and other things to look forward to, other things to make yourself feel better.
Absolutely, and we just got a message too that says harm reduction approaches. You can plan situations out and avoid harm on yourself and others. That is huge. Harm reduction, you know, setting yourself up for success, you know, as you have so poignantly, you know, lived and shared with people, I think is vitally important. So that's a really good point.
Yeah, exactly. And thinking that you have to quit forever, that's one thing. Like, don't ever think that way. Just try it for a bit. Or even maybe every second weekend, decide to do it sober. There's so many different ways.
I know this is such a stereotype. One day at a time. That's literally how all of us have to live right now. We're just going one day to the next, one day at a time. You don't have to worry about who you're going to be 10 years from now, who are you going to be 10 minutes from now. That's the person. You know, that's I think is, don't get bogged down in the gravity of what you're considering undertaking.
Yes.
One day at a time.
100%, because we all know being overwhelmed is a pretty good deterrent to growing or, you know, striving for something better. And same with any kind of like feeling crappy about yourself or like judging your past self for doing things, you can't grow from that. So give yourself grace and forgive yourself maybe for some things you've done in the past, because that's all you knew at the time. So really, I mean, growth just comes from a place of feeling good about yourself, and that can start with making little changes like what Allie did. So yeah, that's.
I think this has been my favorite part. Is I don't know if I've ever done this much introspective talking and sharing and stuff with somebody. So I feel like that has been the biggest growth for me, is because I never really think about why I do the things I do, and I've done a lot of thinking, and that's a lot of thanks to the discourse we've had online with people who've been following along for the past month, and with you. So thank you for that, because this has been really a really fun growing experience for me.
Awesome. Yeah. And same, before I got sober, I never did any of that kind of stuff. Either because I never had to or because it's just too scary. But yeah, that's a fun thing about either cutting back or quitting altogether. Like, you start to think differently, and then that can change who you are. Like, it, and not change who you are, but bring back to who you truly are without all the external crap.
How do I say it any better than that? I don't think I can.
Awesome.
Well, social distance
yeah.
high five! Yay!
Yes. Oh, that's so great. Well, thank you. That's been lovely. And thanks for everyone who joined in on the live. This is going to be up on YouTube either tonight or tomorrow. And yeah, reach out to me or Allie with anything, anytime. And
Anytime.
Keep following us and being great. And good luck to you if you're going to decide to do another month off in the future or whatever, or anybody watching, if they want to do a month off or longer than that, good luck to you. You can do it.
Absolutely. So much fun. Thank you, guys.
Yes. All right. See you and happy summer.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, social distance high five! Yay!
Yes.